The late 16th to the early 17th century saw the weaponry on the battlefield change. Out went the longbows and the armours that had served us so well throughout history as we dawned into the Gunpowder Age.
Gunpowder has three ingredients: sulphur, charcoal and potassium nitrate, or saltpetre, and it's this final ingredient that causes countries to have problems. It exists in Asia in large quantities. Given its white appearance and its oriental origin, it's often known as Chinese snow. It can be imported.
Now in peacetime, this is all well and good, but in times of war, number one, your need for saltpetre massively increases, and number two, your supply lines coming in from Asia can be very easily cut by traditional enemies that we spend most of our time at war with, those being France and Holland. So saltpetre needs a home source. In essence, it needs to be gathered from the country, the land and her people. Fortunately, the base ingredient of saltpetre, urine, is something we have an infinite supply of. So the job of collecting saltpetre fell to a group of commissioned labourers acting under a royal warrant known as saltpetermen. And at the start, the saltpetermen of London merely existed by taking buckets of urine left out by householders across the whole of the city. But as gunpowder took a bigger hold on the battlefield and the demand for saltpetre increased even more, merely taking the piss was never going to meet demand. The king was to grant the saltpetermen some disturbing new powers. They could cover the length and breadth of the realm and had authority to dig for saltpetre in both town and country, any place they could find it, and we do mean any place. In a bizarre method of prospecting, they would taste the soil. Cool, salty tasting soil had better potential for the presence of saltpetre, and they could dig wherever they found that. And if that meant your home and hearth was going to get dug out from underneath you, then so be it. And if this happened to you, there was nothing you could do about it. In fact, you'd be even liable for prosecution if you tried to stop them. And when the saltpetermen had finished digging up your home and ruining your foundations, they could even commandeer your horse and cart to take away their extorted fines. On 14th of February 1630, Sir Francis Seymour wrote and complained to the Secretary of State. The saltpetermen care not in whose houses they dig, threatening men that by their commission they may dig in any man's house, in any room, and at any time, which will prove a great grievance to the country. They dig up the entries and halls of divers men. If any oppose them, they break up men's houses and dig by force. They make men carry their saltpetre and take their carriages in sowing time and harvest, with many other oppressions. Not even churches were safe. And in a time where the king was being increasingly seen as a tyrant by Parliament, the saltpetermen helped to bring that tyranny to the people.
Things got so bad that in Parliament's Grand Remonstrance, the list of over 200 complaints laid before King Charles I in 1641, Article 29 cites the vexation and oppression of the saltpetermen.
The king's response was lacklustre at best, and without any curtailment of his power or that of the people acting under his royal warrant, it set the scene for this most sacred of royal treasures to be turned against him. The saltpetermen had played their own small part in bringing the Gunpowder Age to its fiercest height and gave us the English Civil War.